Do you want to have your wheel go from this to this? Well, stay tuned and let me show you how. Welcome to the Maf Garage, guys, home of the brain dead muppet of the motoring world. So, on this episode, I'm doing a little thing that's a bit different. So, there's no Crustida work, there's no Saab work or anything else. But I want to show you guys the work I do day to day. So, part of my work is redesigning things here at MafSport. And it can be anything that you can think of. So previously I've shown you guys with the high chair that I did for my son. You've also seen the work I did on the Sec-Spec car, fixing up the spoiler. I also build computers on the side, and I'll show you just a couple little examples. But generally day to day, my work revolves around redesigning things and making things new, so to speak. So if you've got something that's old and decrepit and you don't like it, you bring it to me and I bring it from a previous era to 2020 spec. So part of that is grabbing whatever, whenever, wherever. And in this instance, I wanted to work on some wheels. So I'll show you guys what's going on. So this is an Oscar wheel that was bought from Bob Jane well in excess of 30 years ago. These wheels were very popular in the early 90s on your cult hatchbacks like Suzuki Swift GTIs, Pulsars and other cars of that ilk. Now, I picked this whole set up for $50 off Gumtree. So we've got one there and go around to the back here. And I've got a couple over here as well. Now, they're in black because I wanted to check some things out with the paint. And I couldn't understand why things weren't working the way they were supposed to. So I'll come back to this wheel here. Now this particular wheel is painted in a powder coat, and this powder coat is a very old style that reacts with any paints. So I have used acrylic, I've used enamel, and it all bubbles up, causes crow's feet, speckles everywhere. It is just a general disaster. So what I did, and I'll show you guys the process with this wheel, and then the finished product with all four wheels. But I've already done a little bit of work on this set, and I'll show you what's been done here. As you can see here, it's the exact same wheel. See? It's the exact same wheel. But what we've done, we've taken it all off, all that powder coating and all the BS, and we've given it a nice, fresh look. So, let me show you guys how the process goes in transforming a wheel from 1989 to 2020. Let's do this. So the first step is to remove all the powder coating off here. So we've got the trusty hammer drill with a 100mm nylon wheel. Need to get it as big as possible so I can get as much surface area as possible. Got our trusty dust mask because I don't want any of this stuff getting into our lungs. I mean, I don't need coated lungs in powder coat. And let's get into it. as you can see with this spoke, you've got the powder coating here, and when you start taking it off, you get this blackness, and it goes back to an undercoat, and you can see it all the way along there. And then this whole section here is bare brushed metal. So you can see the difference of the shine that comes once you bring it back. And you see how much crap has been put on it and just how thick it is. It's just still disgusting in my eyes. So I'll continue with this and remove it all, and I'll take you to the next stage. Alright, so there's the face completely sanded back. And you can see nice polished alloy everywhere. See how black my hands are, even after washing them once. So you can see down there I've still got the rest of the bits to do in the barrel. So all we do is grab this wheel, flip her over, or we can put it onto its side and we'll just continue on the barrel here. This is not a good episode for me, and this is going to be quite an angry, ranty episode. So it's going to be more talking head than anything, but I've got some stuff to show you guys. So first things first, if you can see behind me, there's a whole heap of boxes because unfortunately we're packing up and leaving this house. Why? Because we have got some neglectful owners and an abusive real estate agent, and I am sick of it. So sick of it that I am going to be taking some action about this, and I'm going to show you what this action is. Right there, there's a whole heap of paperwork that I'm going to be taking to court, and taking the owners and the real estate to court, because for the past 4 months they have absolutely ruined what has happened here at the Maf Garage and at MafSport. Allow me to show you guys what's going on. So, long story short, when you guys saw me and I had the broken hand, yeah, I recovered. And then I started filming footage. And I've got 4 episodes of footage that have basically been ruined because of all the interruptions that kept happening from the real estate and from the owner. Interruptions such as termite people coming in for 2 days and putting new barriers in. People coming in left, right and centre. Quotes, this, that and the other. Coming in and doing more work. You know, just to show you guys what's going on. I'm in the old man's room downstairs. Not even in the garage yet. Set a hole in the roof. I had to cut that just so that I can get to the stuff that's upstairs. Then, as you guys already know previously, we've got that big effing hole in the roof where basically half of it's fallen apart. I'll go in here and you guys can look at this again and we'll just reinforce how bad it is. As you can see, the rip's still there. It's still as bad as it ever was. So that's been there for now basically a year. You guys saw when I did the one take update. And that's what basically this episode will be again. It's going to be another one take update. So, in saying that, let's get to the next bits, because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get to the courthouse and handle this paperwork in. So, next bit is, obviously, we are packing up and cleaning up and removing all the crap. And if we go out there, the old man's loading up onto the ute. So, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We've got projects that we've had to pause. We've got this pool table that we were doing. There's the legs. On the other side, there's the body. But obviously that's not why you come to the Maf Garage. The Maf Garage is the home of the one and only Crustida. And let me show you guys what's going on with that. So, on the front end here, it's completely torn off. And I had an episode fully filmed, ready to go, and all this stuff is just thrown a spanner right in the works, and I just can't do anything because every couple of days I have to put down tools, or I have to run another email, or I have to make another phone call and have another argument, and have to deal with more bullshit, and it really effing pisses me off. Anyway. So, as I was saying, I've got the front end here, and I've got a bit of air conducting here, because I was able to connect it to an outside air source, obviously, which then goes into here, which then would have connected over to the airbox. Now, the airbox, I've got a little project here. As you can see, there's a hole there. There's another adapter there. Halfway through that, filming that episode. Yeah, stop that. Why? Because of more fucking emails and more fucking phone calls. More of everything. Still got the turbos there, untouched. Haven't been able to do anything. Haven't been able to do anything with the engine bay. Why? Because every time I go down to do work, what happens? Ring, ring. Oh, we got this going on. We got this. Can you let this person in? Yeah. So I've got to clean up the house, make it look like it's Better Homes and Gardens again, and make sure that it's all spick and span, because my wife is OCD about having a clean house, so she gets right up my ass about everything. Yeah. Like I said, I'm getting very bloody ranty. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff that's come for Crustida. So, while we've been doing this, and I've been arguing this and that, the other, I've been also busy on the internet. Now, if you guys have been on Overtaking Lane week in, week out, you guys saw me make it through to 16 weeks and become the ultimate brain dead muppet. Now, I write the questions for that quiz, so if you want to win some prizes, go onto there, and trust me, I don't do really hard questions. They're very general car purpose ones. But after I did that with Overtaking Lane with this, I've also been looking at what parts have been available for Crustida, because one big thing got into my craw and really irritated me. And that was because of what Street Machine did. Now, as much as I love Scotty and Telfo and all the boys down there, they cheated. You guys know you cheated. Don't deny it. Why did they cheat? Or how did they cheat? You're all asking me. Well, this was technically a budget challenge, so we sort of have a rough amount. But that got thrown out the window when these guys spent $7,000 on a damn gearbox. How am I going to compete with that when I'm running stock OEM stuff? I'm not going to be able to compete with it. I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. But on the other side, I'm like, well, two can play with that. Two can play with fire. So if they wanted to spend all that on their car, sort of, you gave me permission to spend that on my car too, boys. So I've been very busy. I've been very, very busy. I'm going to go walking backwards because I'm going to show you guys some of these parts that have come in. And I've had to search the entire world for parts. Parts for inside the motor, parts for on the car, parts for all around. Let me show you. First off, this is the first part, straight from the good old US. These are a pair of sway bar links. Now, if you remember, I bought those previously. And I thought I was great. Went and bolted them on here. I was going to go to the car. After I just stepped on something and had it go through into my foot. Ow! Jesus Christ. Oh, a bloody nail. Oh. We'll pull that out. That was lucky. That was very lucky. See, it doesn't matter what I do, I always get in a disaster. Let's get my shoe back on. Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, so instead of destroying my foot, let's get back to what I was going to do. Okay, so we've got the wheel here, and I'm going to push it because I haven't got it connected to the steering wheel at the moment. What I'm going to do is take you guys onto the other side here. I'm going to take you guys into here. Now, one of the main problems I've got at the moment is the sway bar link here. Now, it's all good that it bolts into there, but when it did that, what happened was it eliminated my turning circle. So I went from having proper turn to having probably half a turn of lock. That's not going to be good for turning anywhere on the road. It might be good for absolute straight line, but I built this car as a street car. So because of that, went to the US of A, and like I said, got these sway bar links. Big shout out to Wes at Punch Out Performance. I'll put the link down in the description below. He's really helped me out in getting that organised. Then the next thing I've got down here, our springs finally arrived. Our shocks finally arrived. It took 4 months for King Springs to get another set of Crustida shocks, Crustida springs together. So that was a bit of a delay. It wouldn't have mattered what I did. I wouldn't have been able to touch the rear end until probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. But the most recent additions are now engine related. And this is where I'm going. Now, as much as I love seeing all the parts of Golby's and everything else, a brain dead muppet like me can't afford to build it with those prices. So I had to think laterally and look around. And I will say this. Thank you to him. Thank you, Christian. I really appreciate you having details on everything, because it allowed me to just dive into the rabbit hole just a little bit, and then discovered all these other things that I wouldn't have found if it wasn't for that one little part number that you had on your website. So thank you very much, Mr. Golby. I appreciate it. I really do. But the part that you had wasn't the part that I needed. What I discovered was that there were 5 different kits, all for 1Js, all for various ones. You have ones for JZX81s, JZZ30 Soras, JZX 100s and 110s. There were 5 all up, I remember that. But this particular one that I've got come all the way from the sands of Dubai. And this is an original Toyota gasket kit for a JZX90 motor, which is the specific motor that is actually in Crustida. Little fun fact there for you boys. So, all of those parts are there. Then separately, I'm now packing up, because down there we've got all my little toys and tools and stuff like that, all being put away, ready to shove in the car. And the next question you're going to ask me is, if I'm leaving here, where am I going to go? I don't know. And that is straight up. I don't know where I'm going to go. But I do know where Crustida is going to go. Now, I'm going to leave this episode with that bit of mystery. I've found somewhere, and I am so thankful that these guys have reached out. Well, a bit of a mutual reaching out. I've really been hassling them for the past few months, and I've sort of bit the bullet myself to ask for some other help, because with what's going on here with the real estate and what's happened with the owner, all the things that have gone on, my focus has been on just making sure my family is safe. It's really done a number on me. And so, because of that, I have to go ahead and reach out to other people when I thought that I could do this all myself, and I probably could have if I didn't have all these extenuating circumstances. But because this has happened, I'm just lost in a state of perpetual flux. Now, the reason why I'm walking around and I'm just looking for something, I'm trying to find the final piece of the puzzle. Ah, here it is. I knew I had it around. So, let's end this episode with a little unboxing for you guys. This past week, I got the final piece of all the international orders. I've got it sitting right here. I've already had a look at it, and I know what it is, and I was like, oh, yay! But let me show you guys. What's that? That is an assembly kit. For what you ask? I'm telling you, Scotty, your days are numbered. This is the Maf Garage, guys. Peace.